it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's going home. Well, not according to me and Mike, it's not.
No.
Spain and Italy, respectively. Welcome to the FDT-TV podcast. And we got that one in one. Euros are incoming Friday. Are you looking forward to it, Mike?
Yes.
Are you?
Just because it's summer football and I don't like there being summer without football. It's very depressing. You just get bombarded with transfer speculation left, right, and centre. And at least this takes your mind off it. Take yourself.
Well, at least to the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So, we do have obviously some warm-up games that are already played. England played Austria, come out 1-0 victors. Played Romania, come out 1-0 victors. Does it? It's coming out. Do those results fill you with confidence, or is it a little bit like that was a lucky result?
Certainly yesterday's result. It was, Sunday's result. I'll say Sunday because I don't know when this is going out. So we'll say Sunday's result.
Yeah.
It wasn't unexpected. I think from the way that we have played, we always seem to do really well in qualifiers or like friendly matches. It's only when we get down to the nitty gritty that we seem to kind of struggle. It's almost like, I know we had, what was it, some like voodoo witch doctor or something a few years ago come to one of the tournaments with us to try and change the mentality. Whatever good that did, I don't know. But for me, those two particular fixtures, I think, are a way for the manager to work out what his best squad is going to be. Now, I appreciate, obviously, the way that the football season has run. There's been a shitload of fixtures, left, right, and centre for all teams.
Yeah.
So they do need a bit of downtime with the 2 or 3 English teams getting to the Champions League and Europa League finals. However, when you are playing a fixture, I get that you have to field a team, but why field a team that you know isn't going to be starting in the competition?
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 ways that you can look at it. One, obviously, you want your best squad available for the first fixture. 3 points, come away, happy days.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you are then fielding your strongest squad, you do have the potential to pick up injuries and all that sort of business. However, I think it was such a pointless exercise. I suppose in one sense you get the winning mentality into the team, but when you've got players like Lingard and practically the whole squad not being in the actual final selection, I just think it was a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, we did have quite a few chances where we've hit the woodwork over the last couple of games or whatever, but I don't know. It's just hard to get excited about when, like I said, the team that was selected is not even the team that's going to be, or the majority of the team is not going to be the team that's playing.
Yeah, they were laboured victories as well. It wasn't like we were flat out. Both teams gave us a challenge, which is quite concerning because when you go, we're going to play Romania, usually you'd go, in qualifying, you'd go, well, it's probably a 4-0 without problem. But bit that got me, Jordan Henderson, we did discuss him a little bit beforehand. Hadn't played football in 14 weeks, and we've been told by Gareth Southgate in his media interviews that him and Maguire are doubts until sort of the last 16 for any real game time and proper fitness. So we see him playing some of that game. Took the ball off of Calvert-Lewin to take the penalty, proceeded to miss the penalty, and then was really unbothered. And I quote, "I have missed bigger penalties than that." Which, for wearing the captain's armband for your country at the time, and to be lucky to be in a position where you're in the Euro squad, where some other more deserving players have missed out, doesn't fill me with confidence. He's never scored for England, yet he's missed bigger penalties than that. And I'm really sorry, but there is no bigger penalty than the chance to score for your country.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
And a little respect he did garner from me in the not last season, season before, has now completely gone. And I've gone back to my original opinion of him of he's a bit of a knob.
Yeah, I'm like you said, it's every footballer's dream. I think we both said this last week. It's every footballer's dream to play for your country. Now, some people are quite fortunate that they do get the opportunity to. It's something that we've seen over the years, certainly since we've been watching football.
Yeah,
you look at the managers, and they all come out when they start saying, "Oh, it's going to be based on effort," and then they go to the same old shit and pick their favourite players. And to an extent, I get it, because obviously they think that crop of players is going to do well for them in their respective tournaments.
Yep.
But when you look at some of the players, it's so frustrating. When you look at the season that James Ward-Prowse has had, for example, he's started every game for the last 2 seasons. I think he has.
Yeah,
started every game, scored some amazing goals. And we saw how good he was yesterday in that particular fixture. He's a dead ball specialist. He's absolutely crucial. I don't get why he didn't get picked for the team. When you look, and we've taken four right backs or four
three now.
yeah. Good point. But it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. I don't get it. There's nothing merit based about it at all. It's all purely based on favouritism.
Yeah, and I think, as I said last week, I do think that potentially is going to be Gareth Southgate's undoing. Is if he had taken all the informed players, so your James Ward-Prowses, your Lingards, and left out your Harry Maguires and your Hendersons, who've spent a long time injured, and then lost, then actually it's the players that have let him down. Where at the moment, I think if we are underwhelming, it's Gareth Southgate's selection that's let us down. It's got nothing to do with the players necessarily. Or it has, but potentially there's better options out there to get a result.
Yeah, completely agree.
I understand the need for leaders in dressing rooms and people who have got tournament experience, but we've not won anything. We've not gone the distance, really, have we?
Nope.
So to say, oh, these players have got tournament experience, well, they haven't. Yes, they've played in the FA Cup. Yes, they've played in the League Cup, but so have all the other players. Some have played in Champions League, some played in Euros, or Europa League. It's not. I think that thing of we need a captain with tournament experience, well, rubbish.
Yep.
Absolute rubbish. You think David Beckham went to his last tournament as a cheerleader, didn't he? Why didn't Henderson go, you know what, I'm not actually fit? Take someone, I'll come along and still be in the dressing room, jeering up the lads, getting them in the mood.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have had much more respect for him to do that, because actually, I understand, obviously, you're not going to get to go to every tournament, but you're potentially robbing someone else the chance of going when you know that you're not going to be able to play every game. But why am we up? But as we said, Henderson and Maguire, Gareth Southgate has said we're not going to see any real fitness from them until sort of the last 16. He reckons they should be up to speed about then. And the other one, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who you could say was one of the better options at right back. When he's on his game, he is phenomenal. But he is ruled out with an injury. I think he pulled a hamstring. And he's been replaced by Brighton's Ben White, which I was a little bit surprised at, if I'm honest. I thought Ben Godfrey may have got the sort of hat tip over him, but fair enough. He's obviously impressed Southgate in such a way that he's got a call up.
Obviously, I'd say one thing for that is that we obviously we appreciate they've been behind the scenes in the whole training camp, so we don't see what goes on a day-to-day basis. But he's obviously impressed during the training.
Yep.
So fair play to him.
Oh yeah,
He needs to seize it.
He does
if he gets played.
If he gets played, but that's the thing, isn't it? Is he's coming in, and if he gets an opportunity, he does need to seize it and make himself undroppable. And I really hope he does do that. No one will like to see that more, I don't think. But let's get into England's route to the final. Or I say to the final, to at least the last 16, shall we? So we start off with a game against Croatia, and then we play Scotland, and then the Czech Republic. So depending, I mean, we'll obviously come back to this next week when we've got a bit more information about how England have done in that first game. But if we finish first in our group, that means we'll face the runner-up of the group of death, which is Group F, which is Portugal, France, Germany, and Hungary. And it's being touted as a group of death because of, obviously, one big team potentially is going home at the group stage. Portugal, France, and Germany. I don't mind which. Take your pick. I hope one of them goes out. They've all had their moments against us in history. And yeah, it would be useful to get rid of one of them. The only caveat this year is that 4 of the 4 best third place finishers also go through to the round of 16, which is, if you ask me, a little bit naff. Because what I'm saying is actually potentially you could get one win and still qualify, which is not, I don't think, good. If we finish second in the group, we will play the Group E runners-up, which is Spain, Sweden, Poland, or Slovakia. And say that game will be played at Wembley, same as if we finish first. The only time we won't play at Wembley is if we finish as one of the 4 third place best placed teams, and it really confused me how to get that. So if we finish, depending on what that is, because obviously if you're the first one, then you will play the winners of Group C, which will be a game in Budapest, and that potentially will either be the Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria, or North Macedonia. And I mean, if North Macedonia are looking like they're gonna win that group, then maybe we need to try and finish third and be the best third place finished team, because that may be an easier route to the final. Group B winners: Denmark, Finland, Belgium, or Russia. Again, none of those you like the sound of. And that game will be played in Seville. Or if we're the worst third best placed team, we will play the winners of Group E, which is Spain, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia, and that game's in Glasgow. So, I mean, being...
I don't know why I did that. I'm not even Scottish.
I mean,
it's a salute to my Scottish brethren.
Out of those ones, if I'm honest, I would say we want to finish second, really, to face the runners-up in Group E. So you're looking at probably Sweden or Poland, and neither of them are going to be easy games by any stretch of the imagination, but it could be a lot easier than facing France or Germany or Portugal or Belgium, you know? What one of those options would you like, Mike? If you could pick.
Well, from my prediction, I've got us going through second.
Okay. I'm facing Sweden.
So I to be honest, I think Scotland this year, in fact, I will strike that. I think the Scottish team is probably one of the best Scottish teams that we've seen for a long while.
Yes.
They've got some great players in there. However, I think we've seen from previous tournament games, I think we lost out to Croatia in the World Cup.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So I am just going on past experience. Obviously, I think they've got the one up over us just from the previous tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that they will finish top of our group. So I think potentially that will be a draw for us. Our first game, I don't think we'll lose it. I'll be very surprised if we do lose it. But then again, it's England in a tournament. We just don't know what's going to happen. So I've gone for a draw against England. No, against Croatia. Sorry. Scotland, I think will be a win. So it puts us on 4 points, and I'm going to put us down as a loss potentially against the Czech Republic. It's either going to be a loss against Croatia and a draw against the Czech Republic, or the other way around. But I don't know. I'm going for England second. So I think you said that puts against France, Germany, Portugal, or Hungary, depending on obviously where they finish.
Yep.
But I think one of the things for me is that at some point you're going to have to play a big team in the competition anyway. In order to win it, you've got to beat the best.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say bring it on. Bring it on. If we finish second, that I think will put us through. I've gone for against France, my prediction. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be as far as we go. I did say that I think in my last prediction that I think we'll get to the quarterfinals, but yeah, I'm going to go for Spain all the way on this competition. It's been a while since we've seen a good run from a Spanish team. Then likewise with Germany, I think Germany might be a surprise in the competition this year, possibly getting to the latter stages.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
Can't wait. For me, I think if we can finish second, that will be ideal. But I think it all depends on how we kick off the first game. I think if we lose that, then it's a struggle because you've got to get the next result, which is going to be arguably the hardest game of the tournament, with the only team that really wants us to lose. And so I've gone for us finishing as third, like one of the best of the third places, because I think if we do trip up, we still will make it. I think if that's the case, we might get a draw against Scotland, and then a big win against the Czech Republic, which puts us in round of 16. But that would give us potentially Belgium, in the way I've seen it, which is not ideal. One of the arguably strongest, but again, I've put them to go out in the next round. They seem to get to the quarterfinals, a bit like England, lots of promise, and then fall apart. The one team that I do think, personally, is going to surprise everyone, and I think it may take a little bit of luck, is, as you can see there on my prediction, Turkey. I think Italy-Turkey final, and I do think Italy might come out on top. It may be a case that we see, remember, what was it, 2004, when Greece won it? No one saw that coming. But I do think there could be I hope there could be a few surprises coming for us, because that's what international football is all about. Did we mention the odds? We mentioned the odds. Right, odds. Latest odds, ladies and gentlemen. England are odds on favourite, 4-1. And I think that is because of the home advantage. Potentially we will play 5 of the 7 games at Wembley. And with fans allowed in, although seeming like the English fans haven't got many tickets at the moment, should be home advantage. France closely in second, 5-1. Belgium third place at 13-2. Closely followed by Spain at 7-1. And then in 5th place, tied, is Germany and Italy, both 8-1. Most betting sites, not saying if you do bet, that's not a problem, bet responsibly, but have Romelu Lukaku as the top goal scorer of the tournament, closely followed by Harry Kane. It could be another penalty special from Harry Kane this tournament, and that might be where some of his goals come from. If they do, I'm not going to complain. I mean, we've got Jack Grealish in the squad, so penalties galore.
As proven yesterday.
Yeah, as proven yesterday. I bet Harry Kane was sitting there rubbing his hands going, lovely, 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 free again this time. But yeah, I mean, I will admit, I've put a cheeky little pound on. I have gone with Lukaku to score, and I've gone with Italy to win, and that was before I did my prediction thing there. So I didn't really see what their route might be. But as we both said last week, there are a good 8 teams, possibly like that you could pick out and make a case for any of them winning it. And then you've got the wild cards that come in, and the spots of luck and for all the others. I just can't wait for it to start. I'm a little bit excited. I know I was pessimistic last week, Mike. But I'm actually looking forward to watching other teams play rather than England. Because I think over here, I think there's a 10 o'clock kickoff, is there not? A midday, a 3 o'clock, and then a 5 o'clock. I might be slightly wrong now, but it's something like that.
So it's literally all day.
Yeah, I mean, most workplaces will probably be slightly annoyed that people are watching football.
Calling in sick.
But
Oh.
with everyone working from home, you just have it on in the background.
Mm.
You can still work and get on with it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I definitely won't be doing that. My concentration will be 100% on work.
Oh, I imagine myself. I will probably get up, do what I need to do really early, smash through it, and then say handle things as they come in. And that is what record and live pause is for.
True.
So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it massively, and hopefully we can bring it home. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much, just in case. I think the World Cup, we all went mad about it, didn't we? And then we mucked it up. I think we need to just keep a lid on it a little bit and save all our it's coming home.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think needs to be stressed to the public. I know it was such a massive. Just looking at some of the carnage that the last time, obviously, as we got to seeing ambulance being destroyed, seeing police destroyed, public property being destroyed. I know we've got obviously the lockdown restrictions are potentially looking to be lifted towards the later part of this month. So I think that kind of has, or possibly will, keep a lid on all of the debauchery, if you like. But I just think people need to be a little bit sensible about this sort of thing. But then again, trying to tell people not to do something is going to make them want to do it even more. So go and fucking run a riot.
Yeah, as I said, as individuals, we're quite smart. As a crowd of like the public, we're stupid.
Yep.
Especially when you add a few bevies to that. Yeah. But be smart, be safe, and hopefully we will bring it home. Have you got any surprise teams that you might, or that you're looking forward to watching this tournament?
I do really want to watch, if I can, the majority of the Spain games. I think for me they are going to be one of the teams to watch out for this campaign. Obviously, as you can see, I've got them down as my winners. I'm also interested because, again, over the last few tournaments, they haven't really been.
Sorry, you cut out slightly there. Who was that?
Oh, sorry, the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah. So again, for me, a team that have not really hit the heights that they have done previously. I know certainly over the last few Champions League campaigns they've done okay, and there's some good players. To be honest, I think for the majority of the teams in there, we are quite fortunate to see a lot of the first team members in the higher caliber teams across Europe. Certainly in our own league, but also some of the bigger leagues, such as the Bundesliga, the Spanish leagues. And I think where football has come from, where I first remember watching it, so back in Euro 96 is really the first tournament I do remember watching. And then obviously getting older and seeing your Alan Shearers, your Ian Wrights and all that stuff. When you compare the game then to compare the game now, it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And I think just the majority, I would say there are no whipping. Obviously, there will be potentially a couple of whipping boys for this tournament, but I think with the way that the world has been over this period, the COVID period, I think we've got possibly one of the most exciting we've seen for quite a while.
Oh, 100%. And I do think the fact that it is Euro 2020 and we were in 2021 done it some favours. Because you think a year ago, Phil Foden, Mason Mount, okay, they were doing all right, but they weren't mad. Now they're almost first teams on the first names on the team sheet, and there's a lot of other players for other countries that were looking to miss out through injury that are now not. So yeah, I do think you're right. It could be the most exciting tournament we've seen in a long, long time.
And obviously, if we get through to the final, happy days.
Exactly. So only good things. If we get through to the final against Italy, though, I do want us to lose because I've got money on Italy. It's only a quid. But I'd rather have a tenner in my pocket than us with another star. I know we wouldn't even get a star, would we? That's for World Cups.
Yep.
Oh, blimey. Right. Well, if I'm honest, until the next game's kicked off, I've got nothing else to add about the Euros. I mean, I don't know. Last week had Carlo Ancelotti moved back to Real Madrid. I don't think he had, but he's gone back to Real Madrid. He tried to take Big Dunk with him, didn't he? And he said, "No, I want to stay at Everton." And he's put his name. He's put his name in the hat for the Everton job. Personally, I think that's a mistake.
What, for Ancelotti or Big Dunk?
For Big Dunk, I think if they're in dire straits to get him in, bit of passion would raise spirits at Everton. But as a full-time manager, we've seen more often than not, actually, you do get a little bit of playing well, and then it all goes very wrong. So I think maybe continuing his tutelage under one of arguably top managers in the world still, Ancelotti at Real Madrid, and then coming back in a few years' time with a little bit more experience under his belt, what might have been the way forward. But all the best to Everton. I mean, got the shirt. It's got FDT-TV on it.
Sometimes away in the covers. It's only because I've gone for the international theme.
Yeah, well, I can't get it. My headphones are too short. But yeah. They hold a dear place in our hearts at the moment, don't they?
Absolutely.
Great memories. But yeah, I mean, other than Spurs. Yes, and
I'll talk about Spurs.
Go on, and Conte.
Yes.
So go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say the headline or the articles I've read are all pretty much saying Conte said, "I want to win trophies as soon as possible." And to do that, and we need some investment in the squad. And Spurs went, nah. You want some money? You want some money? We haven't got any money. I mean, for Spurs, would he have been a good signing as a manager? I don't know. I think at that point he's punching above his weight, isn't he? Or Spurs are punching above their weight with the terms of managerial class they can bring in, considering the last season and the lack of backing for the last two managers. Who do you think's likely to end up at Spurs?
Do you know what? I genuinely don't, because for any manager to go in, they're going to have to, I think, pay the manager well. Obviously, they're not going to be getting the Mourinho type wages. But I genuinely don't know who they would. That's one of the problems. The only couple of people I could possibly think would be. In fact, I did hear one was Nuno Espirito Santo. I think is a name that has been linked with Spurs. But again, I appreciate he wants to have a step up in managerial career, but is he going to get the backing, or is he going to be happy with the? Let's be honest. I mean, I will say this, obviously being as, but I will say this because our team is mediocre as well. It's a mediocre squad. They finished 7th in the league last year.
Yeah,
it's. They need to invest. We need to invest. And I don't know who they're going to get in to do that.
If I'm honest, I think most managers, unless they can get some guarantees, will be giving Tottenham a wide berth until they know what's happening with the future of Harry Kane. Because actually, managing that Tottenham team with a guaranteed, 20 goals in a league a season is much easier than going, actually, we're going to miss out on 35 plus goals a year from what he creates and scores. That's an even bigger job, as we said. That like without him last year, you're looking at relegation fodder, really. So that's potentially a much bigger job than it first seems. I mean, yes, a lovely, nice new big stadium, but you lose your talisman. Not good.
Championship football it become.
Could be the best stadium in the championship. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, West Ham. We'll go back to the clubs for just a second. West Ham, we've had no ins at the moment. We've obviously had a retained list entered. We've seen a number of youngsters go, and the only big name, Fabian Balwainer, has been released on a free transfer as his contract has expired or will be expiring at the end of the month. So we wish him all the best. Obviously, it hasn't worked out fantastically. He's done all right, but not great. Has there been any transfer news for Arsenal?
No, none whatsoever. It's been quiet as mouse.
Quiet as a mouse, which is not always what you like to hear. You want to get your business done early, so you know what you're dealing with, especially with, to be honest, a short pre-season.
Yeah, we've there's obviously a few players that we've his loan extension has been obviously come to an end. Martin Odegaard loan has come to an end. David Luiz has obviously parted ways with the club, wants to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Matty Ryan was another player whose loan been his loan contract has expired, so he's been released. One big piece of Arsenal transfer news: Emi Buendia. It's a transfer that has been discussed about quite frequently, certainly towards the end of the season. Apparently, we were the bookies' favourites at one point, with a equal, if not slightly better bid. We then went in for a second. Aston Villa have apparently signed Emi Buendia from Norwich City. He has chosen to go to Aston Villa over Arsenal because we are fucking massive flops.
Well,
that's what we are.
Martinez, when he left and he said Aston Villa's a step up from where I was, it seems like people are paying attention.
Yeah, to be honest, I know they finished lower than Arsenal did, but to be honest, I think they were more excited to watch than we were at points over the season. And again, we saw the recruitment, how positive it was for them for last season. Again, if they recruit as well for this season, I think they're going to be ones to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, as an Arsenal fan, do you find that quite concerning that the likes of Aston Villa are becoming more, I don't know what the word is.
Appealing?
Sorry?
Appealing?
Appealing, that's the word. More appealing than Arsenal. In Birmingham rather than London.
Maybe he just wants a cheaper life, do you know what I mean?
A pound a pint. Yeah, well, this is true. This is true.
Am I surprised by it? No, I'm not. I know there was some spiel that Arteta gave when he first came in and said that Arsenal is the pulling weight for you regardless who the manager is, regardless of who currently. Arsenal Football Club should be the pulling power they need enough to want to come to Arsenal. Okay. To be honest, I disagree with that statement. Again, I think you're only as good as your last game, your last season, and for the last 2 seasons, we've been fairly average in terms of the Premier League. Obviously, we're now facing first time without European football for 24, 25 years. Is there really an incentive to come to Arsenal as it stands at the moment? No, not really. But there could be a couple of reasons as to why the offer was decided to go with Aston Villa over Arsenal. Obviously, Emi Martinez apparently was one of the fundamentals behind that deal. He's obviously played for both clubs, knows the insides out of each of the clubs, and has probably given some reassurances Aston Villa is the better option. Again, depending on the recruitment, we may see that actually to be true.
Yeah.
And he could be one of the instrumental figures in Aston Villa for next season. But we have got, I'll tell you what, the Arsenal board, if they couldn't get that one over the line, they better have something big up their sleeves to appease all Arsenal fans going into next season.
Well, the one thing that you maybe could see as a knock-on effect of this is Jack Grealish leaving. Big money signing coming into Aston Villa. What was it? Rumoured £30 million, something like that.
Yes, yeah.
I know Manchester City have been linked with Jack Grealish for something like 100 million. But could that be the assurances? Actually, it looks like he's going to go, so you can have his spot and be the leading figure, rather than Arsenal saying, "Yeah, we want you in and around the first team, but you're not going to be the first name on a team sheet every week." That could have
quite possibly
could have been another factor. But it's all exciting. I'm not sure what to be more excited for, Euros or transfers, because I like a little bit of both. Euros. Is that because you're... I mean, the reason I say that is because you know there's going to be a North Macedonian striker who scores 2 goals in the first game, and West Ham are going to sign him. They're going to be the only 2 goals he scores in the tournament and for the rest of his career, but we're going to sign him for 15 million quid.
And 125 grand a week.
Oh, I can guarantee you we will sign someone out of this Euros. I can guarantee you that. Just hopefully
someone good.
Yeah. I mean, Ronaldo. I heard Andy Carroll's on a free. Oh.
There you go.
Hey ho. Go if you can't get any better, go backwards. Right. Well, I don't think we've got any other breaking news. Have you got anything?
That's it.
So until next week, it is most certainly coming home. I've been Ian.
I'm Mike.
Let us know who you think is going to be the top goal scorer of the Euro 2020 that's being played in Europe in 2021 in the comment section below, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.